Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. Very quick, hopefully, because I'm heading off on today's Tuesday, June 21st. Yesterday was my birthday. I didn't do any videos, obviously. Although I have a video blog that I ended up filming a few days ago about someone I found out who passed away. I mean, I'll probably share that at some point. Actually, that's what I should do. Record Store Day, of course, was this past Saturday. Given them it's truncated, maybe we'll just do sort of a preview of it. I don't know if I actually can show all this stuff. Apologies for the delay. Well, alright. This bag that we got definitely took a hit. Yeah, okay, so I don't know if we're going to actually end up doing a Record Store Day video, so I'll just show the 3 records I got on Record Store Day. I'd like to show them, but I don't have time. Claypool, Lennon, Delirium, South of Reality from, I think it was 2019. This was in my top 10. Yep. Les Claypool, of course, and Sean Lennon, of the late, great John Lennon of the Beatles, of course. This is a really fun record. It's psychedelic. I'm not a massive Primus fan, although I saw Primus open for Rush back in 1994, the senior in high school. Of course it was Pork Soda and My Name Is Mud Song. They had been on Beavis, and then that Sausage Band, which was related, was on Beavis. And of course, Les Claypool and Primus, they've done their covers, Sowing in the Seeds of Cheese. They did kind of like a play on words on the Sowing in the Seeds of Love by Tears for Fears. But they're doing that tour with Rush as a Farewell to Kings and everything. But this is really more. It's more. See, this is blue and purple vinyl. Purple and blue vinyl. I should really open this up. Let me see if I have. Again, I'm supposed to be meeting my friend for lunch and then mini golf out at Mall of America in a short while. But the reason to open this up, and I want to get into like 1 or 2 announcements that have come up that people know. But one of the records that I got is related, so I just ripped it. Oh well. Those sheets I'd like to kind of keep sometimes, but it's why I often like to open this stuff up before I turn the camera, hit record on the camera. But as I say, time is of the essence. So this was a Canadian pressing, as it says, made in Canada. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this is. It's the humor. Look at the gatefold here. There's no reason. The humor that Les Claypool uses with Primus can be a little excessive, or it doesn't always. It wears out its welcome at times, but with this, it doesn't get to be too much. There's still some of it, but see, look at that splatter. Looks like Liquid Tension Experiment 1, actually, but I haven't, honestly, I'm guilty of it, like many records. I have not listened to this record probably since 2019, maybe once, but of course, the last few years, in 2020 especially, my music consumption was at a fraction of what it normally is. But yeah, this is South of Reality. This is like their second record, and I never listened to the first one. I also regret they were here in town, and I didn't go. I didn't know. I hadn't heard this. I hadn't heard any of their music. And they also were on, I want to say, Colbert, and I haven't gone to YouTube and watched that performance, but look at this blue. It's like an aqua or teal kind of. But it's like this is the perfect blend of psychedelic rock, some prog, but not like prog that goes off the rails. The songwriting is still there. There's little bits in a lot of the songs, and it's not that long of a record, although given it's a double, maybe I'm forgetting something. Maybe there's some bonus tracks. I don't remember this being about 45 minutes, but maybe, yeah, you look at them, they're little sweets, but it's like 12 minutes on side A, 8 minutes, like 9 minutes. It's only 45 minutes, but they decided to, it's less compressed or whatever, and so they pressed it onto a double. I suppose from a cost standpoint, it would have been more advantageous to buy this as a single. Maybe there's a version that was, I don't know. So, alright, so then I picked up, and again, I didn't buy any Record Store Day special items. Steve Hackett's Tokyo Tapes and the Voivod Nothing Face. The only thing that I saw there, and I wouldn't mind them, but again, it's sort of a priority thing. So I got the previous. Is this animator? Yeah, Reanimator. Everything. They had the newer Everything record, and I'm still kind of on the fence on how much I like it. I liked it initially. I liked a lot of it, but I really want. I was just going to see what they had at Gargard. Gargard's the only place that my wife and I went because they had 2 records on Michael Nesmith record, The Tantamount of Treason, like Volume 1 or something like that. They had that just got issued, and then they had a Chromeo live thing, which some of it is from actually First Avenue in Minneapolis. So that was the reason we went. They had both of them at Argarda, although the Nesmith thing she didn't find. But so this is an import, but this is from Everything's Reanimated from 2020. They have it again. They have Raw Data Feel. I may eventually get it, but I was hoping to see Get to Heaven or the one after it, which again I was remembering the other day. Now I'm forgetting the title. Those are the 2 favorites, or the debut album Man Alive. Arc is the only Everything record before the new one that I kind of am sort of not as crazy about, but this is the white vinyl. But this is the one from 2020, and I remember there was one song that sounded a lot like Radiohead on this record, but otherwise this was kind of close to the previous record, which again Get to Heaven is still probably their best record, it's their masterpiece, but I was like, well, if you're issuing Raw Data Feel and our Data Feel and vinyl, it's at the stores. Maybe some of the other Everything records will be in some places. But part of it is this is at Agarda Records where they buy a lot of imports. But I should ask Dylan. I like to try to look for it online. Why am I spacing on their 20? I think it was 2017 album. That was not as good as Get to Heaven, but it was pretty close. I mean, it was kind of like Jethro Tull's "Thick as a Brick" in a Passion Play. Like, I mean, Everything's their kind of signature record is, which I should mention something about that. Signature record is Get to Heaven, probably always will be. But their album, it was in my top 10s. My top 10 records from 2017, which 2017 is turning out to be a better year with time. Fever Dream, that's the one. I was hoping they'd have, especially Get to Heaven, or maybe Fever Dream, or maybe Man Alive, but at some point, and I may eventually get Raw Data Feel. I mean, I'm going to try doing the albums of the year, hopefully on July 5th if the time allows. I'm trying to do all this stuff on July 5th. But you'll see where that ends up showing up, So the last record I ended up buying, I saw this at the Electric Feast a few weeks ago when I bought those other records that I showed, I believe, yes. But I didn't. I put this back and I put the Warpaint record back. So I haven't bought the new Warpaint record. But I did buy a more affordable, in me speaking, $42 copy of Delaus and the Comatorium finally. So I really just need to get from the Mars Volta. I need to get a more proper copy of, not a bootleg of Francis the Mute, my favorite. This is an import too. Let's see if I can manage to get this open. Oh man, that's the problem with vinyl. Let me hit pause for a second. Alright, so import green and gold vinyl. The Mars Volta, yeah, it just got this sort of signature. This is a German press, or it was pressed in Germany at least. German pressing, it's the same thing. German version. I don't know what the difference would be. Because of course the Mars Volta records, for well over a decade, especially the last, say, like probably 7, 8 years, have been sold for these excessively high amounts of money. They still are, but they finally put that box in and said, let's just start issuing them and make them a little affordable. So this is the debut album, the full length from the Mars Volta from 2003. I mean, it's pretty much lives up to its belief, but I've always felt like they topped it with Francis by a fair amount. But I still always loved this record. It flows really well. It's still, you could say, is probably their best written song ever was Inertiatic ESP, the first one. I'd like to get Tremulant. I don't have that yet. The first EP, and that got issued on vinyl too, but it's not cheap. Just the EP. That, and then for the right price, Nocturnicate, and maybe Ambitexture. Octahedron, and I could, for the right price, and even Bedlam and Goliath. They've remastered and remixed Bedlam and Goliath. It's just, this is green, look almost like black Yeah, it's almost like a suite, like one full suite actually. But of course, the other big piece of news. So let's look at the insert. I didn't even show that. The Mars Volta put out a new song. Well, this whole cryptic thing they did. What is this? A poster or is it a book? It's called Blacklight Shine, but it's just the same thing. It's a poster. Oh, it's kind of cool. I mean, the misconceptions, like with Mars Volta and me, I'm a pretty big fan. I don't even have one of their T-shirts. I saw them live 3 times, and I've got most of their. I think I have all of their CDs actually. I bought every CD, even Bedlam and Amputecture, Bedlam, Octahedron. Octahedron I didn't hate, but it's like when you have this album and Francis the Mute, and that you see what follows, it was kind of hard to not be a little not disappointed is the right word, but just kind of longing for something of that same level of that sort of epic prog, adventurous spirit. And they did some different things. They just kind of their production and some other things. They had producers on those first 2 records. They worked Rick Rubin with this one, and I can't remember if Rubin was. I don't know. Francis Mute had an outside voice, and I think it made a difference. But anyway, so they put out Blacklight Shine. I'll try to link it if I can. At some Volta box thing in Grand Park in LA on Monday. It's there till today. It was Monday. Yeah, no, it was Sunday actually on Father's Day. Father's Day yesterday, my birthday, the 20th, and there's an 11-minute video, which it's just the song, which is like 3.5 minutes. It's on Spotify, and then it's just like this tribal dance. I don't know about tribal. It's like almost like an Afro-Cuban dance drum jam thing that's going on. There's a name for it, a more reference thing, but it goes on for 7 or 8 minutes after that, which is interesting, but not necessarily. I don't know if it were worth repeated viewing. So, but it's exciting that they put out a song. Hopefully an album. They're going to be supposedly touring next year, but they're going to play theaters in the States. I'm skeptical how much I'll want to go, just given how much demand there might be for it. But I would go if I didn't pay anything, or I'd go if I knew it wasn't going to be this sort of mob thing, kind of like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard will be probably. But what was the other thing I was thinking about with this song? Oh, Cedric Bixler had mentioned how he retired 3 or 4 different times over the last 9 months or 6 months on Instagram. But I follow that stuff. I follow the Mars Volta activities as much as I can. Again, they're more of a band that I love some of their music, and I love what they kind of did for progressive rock and music in the 2000s, than actually their music itself being obsessed with. I'm a fan, but I'm a bigger fan of like Dredge or Ours, or even like you said, like Mew or Oceanside, bands like that. But I'm still a pretty big fan. I need to get a T-shirt probably. So that was the one big announcement. There was one other announcement that I forget about now. Well, Porcupine Tree's album's coming out next week. Is it? No, it's coming out this week actually. Closure Continuation. They put out 3 singles. I only listened to Harridan like once or twice. That was last year, so I'm kind of going in completely unfamiliar. Like, just want to hear it for the first time. But they announced a tour of the States, and includes Milwaukee was added. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go to Milwaukee. It's on September 21st too, right before my anniversary and all this stuff, my wife and everything. But if they came here, unless it was on my anniversary, which that would just be my luck, I would obviously want to go, even though they don't have Colin Edwin. It's in effect a 3-piece with some other people. Randy McStein, who I think of from his, he did some live tributes to Kevin Gilbert with Nick DiVirgilio, but he's done a lot of other stuff. He worked with Marco Miniman and everything. And I forget the other guy that they but it's just Gavin Harrison, and besides Stephen Wilson, it's Gavin Harrison and Richard Barbieri. But they have an extra. They have who the live bassist is going to be, because Randy McStein's playing the guitar parts. So, but anyway, what's your take on the new Mars Volta song? And hopefully it will lead to an album. Oh, just to comment on the song, I've said like a million words, and I haven't talked about the song itself. The song itself is okay. Kind of slower for the most part, not like really frantic or highly energetic. Some people are saying it because it's more Latin sounding, but it also may resemble some of Nocturnicate, which I like Nocturnicate. Not that I mean, if I'm in their catalog, if I was ranking them, it wouldn't be in the top part of it, but I rank it higher. I consider it better than a lot of people do. So if they did another record like Nocturnicate, I probably wouldn't have any problem with that. The only thing was sort of the production was a little hot at points, but the vocal lines and some of the segues where I thought were really good. I thought it was much better than both Octahedron and, of course, Bedlam in terms of listenability. And of course, Bedlam is the one that the songwriting's great and the production is just god-awful. So, to me. So anyway, that's what I got. What did you get for Record Store Day? The second one, again, it was kind of a limited. Did you buy the Steve Hackett or the Voivod stuff? I'd love to know, but and all this stuff coming up, I mean, I'll be doing the same thing. Of course, I'm going to work starting tomorrow. We're probably going to be getting cats, which would be nice, you know, because we lost Latte last month. It was a month ago yesterday. But, you know, I mean, the summer schedule, and then I could have July 5th off, but I mean, in this cycle, of course, I'm just going to be working the 3 days, and then the Monday and Tuesday I'll have available. And our mouse problem, hopefully, is being taken care of, but it's still not completely done, unfortunately. We had an exterminator come out yesterday, so having mice sucks, you know. It's not an infestation at this point, and hopefully it never will be, but just any mice, it makes you put all your food in bins and stuff, so... But again, what's your take on the new Mars Volta song? What did you get for Record Store Day? Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.